Hi, colleagues. Today, I want to talk about grading in Google Classroom. And I don't want to just talk about how do you assign a point value to an assignment in Classroom, but I want to also talk about three things that can really make that assessment in Classroom go a lot more quickly and smoothly. And it can just make a better use of your time as you're doing that sort of thing. These are three things that I've been using a lot this year since we've been working remotely to keep track of how students are doing. But these are things that I'm going to continue doing even after we kind of go back to normal school. So let's get into it. Let me actually start by talking about how to assign a point value to an assignment that you create. So here I am in my sample PD class. This way I don't show you my actual students' grades. But if I go into classwork and I go to create an assignment, you've probably noticed that there's this drop down here that says points. So you can assign any number of points that you want to an assignment. You can change that number to something out of 10. You can make it out of 3. You could make it an ungraded assignment if you want. So assigning a point value to an assignment is a great way for you to check in on either how well students are doing, or you can make it kind of a binary thing where you only get a 2 or a 1 or a 0. You know, a 2 means you did the whole assignment, a 1 means you did part of it, and a 0 means you didn't do any. So you can assign point values however you want for whatever purposes you want, and then, give students grades once they turn something in. So how do you actually go about giving kids grades? Well, one of the first things that I would take a look at is this to review feature. You may not have noticed that there before. There are two ways to get there. By clicking on those three lines, you can click on to review, and that'll bring you here. The other way to do it would be if you're in a classroom, over here where it says upcoming, you can click the words view all, and there you go. So I can see here that there are 3 different assignments that I have for this PD class that I created, right? And let's take a look at what information it's telling me about those assignments. For this first one, awesome remote lesson, I noticed that nobody has turned it in. So that means there isn't anybody that's finished it and given it to me. But if a student did click turn in, that count would go up, right? I have 3 students that I've assigned it to, and I'm waiting to get it back from, and I haven't graded anybody's work yet. In this one, I can tell that I don't have anybody that still is working on it. There's 0 in assigned. I don't have anybody under turned in that's waiting for me to grade it. I graded all 3 of them. So looking at this view, I can tell very quickly which ones have work that's waiting for me to grade by having a number under turned in. So let's pretend for this first one, awesome remote lesson, that these 3 people turned it in. Okay, so if I click on assigned, I can see the 3 people that are listed under assigned. If they were kids that had turned it in, I could have clicked the word turned in and seen those kids. So anyway, I'm going to click on somebody's work and go take a look and see if I can grade it. All right, so let's pretend I'm looking at Linda's work here, and let's pretend that she did some work here, right? I would see her work there in that big window. And let's say she did an awesome job, and this was an assignment that I have out of 5 points. So let's say she earned all 5 points because she got all 5 questions right. I can write that number right in grades. And then down here in this line that says private comments, I can write her a little message. Great job. Next time, show your work. Right? I'll hit post, and I can return that. And now it says return work. Yes, return. So now Linda is going to get notified that she just got 5 out of 5 points on that assignment. Now, right from this view, I can go and I can take a look at everybody else's work as well. I can hit this drop down and go to somebody else's assignment, right? Lori or Carrie. Or I could just hit this arrow to just cycle through the next one, next one, next one, next one, and grade them all one at a time. So let's say Lori, she got a 4 out of 5 on this. Well done. Let's double check number 2. All right, so I can give her a little comment, return her work. And I'll give Carrie a 5 out of 5 as well. And I'll return that. So if I go back to that to review view, I can close this tab here. I go back to review. Okay, this right now, just so you know, is showing a whole lot of assignments because this is from all of my classes. So there's assignments there from my actual class as well. So I'll just go over to that PD classes assignments. So here we are, awesome remote lesson. And look, now it says 3 were graded, right? Because I just did those. For some assignments, I grade a little bit differently. I want to show you something else that I like to use. For 2 truths and a lie, let's go in and grade that. Right, I'll click on Linda's work again. And what you'll notice here is this is out of 2 points. And this, I attached a rubric. Now, I'll show you how to do rubrics and attach rubrics in another video. But if you're interested, this is what they do. This was a rubric that I created. 2 points means you followed all of the directions. A 1 point would mean you followed some of the directions. And a 0 would mean you didn't do it. So this isn't something where I'm really assigning a grade. I just want to grade based on your participation with this assignment, right? So Linda, she did everything she needed to do. So I will click the 2 out of 2. And look, it gives her a 2 out of 2 in grades just by clicking on that part of the rubric. Very cool. So I can return that to her. All right, so I can go to my next student and say, oop, you missed the second question. You only did the first. I'll give her a 1 point because you followed some of the directions. Right? And that's kind of how rubrics would work. Again, you really don't have to use rubrics. You can just give an assignment a point value and just, type it in the box, and that works as well. But this, to me, using rubrics seems like a good way to let kids know why they got a particular score if it's not very clear. Okay, so once again, if I go back to review, I can see that those 3 were graded. All right, so we talked about how to grade things. We talked about how to use the to review to check it out. The third thing that I want to talk about is let me pull it up here, the grades tab. So this is a really great view when you want to look at how the class overall is doing with something. You can kind of look at for trends with a particular student. So I can look across multiple assignments and see that Carrie, she got a 2 out of 2 on this. She got a 3 out of 3 on this and a 5 out of 5 on this. Carrie is really knocking it out of the park. Poor Lori, she got a couple of 1s here. I'm going to maybe work with her on IE. I'll give her a chance to maybe redo some of these assignments and get those grades pulled up. Sorry, Lori, she's going to kill me after I share this video with her. And I can see Linda's scores here too. Really great job. So that's a really nice view to take a look at my entire class and sort of look at trends over time. One of the cool things here is if somebody has not done something, it'll say in red letters missing. So if it's after a due date and it wasn't done, I can tell who's missing an assignment. So especially right now with kids working remotely, we have kids that are not getting to things or turning things in, and I can take stock of who's doing what and who is missing one or multiple assignments here really easily. Finally, from this grades tab, I can even click on an individual student and take a look at their grades just for that one student at all of their assignments. So those things in combination, right? Using the to review tab, using the grades tab, those are 2 great ways to kind of see how your students are doing. And then by actually assigning point values to assignments and grading them, it's a really good way to give your students feedback, keep track of their performance, and also something that you can point parents to take a look at so that they can see how their students are doing as well. So I hope this is helpful. I'll also make a video showing how to create a rubric as well. And if there's anything else grading wise that you're wondering about or have a question about, you can email me. I'm happy to help. Thanks.